Don't you sometimes wish there was just an easy button or an easy way out when it comes to certain temptations in your life? I have a sweet tooth, so my temptation every single night is to eat ice cream, to the point that I needed to buy these lozenges mints called Sweet Defeat. No, this is not an ad. I'm actually going somewhere with this because as I started taking these mints, it made me think about how in the rest of my life, my goodness, what a game changer it would be if I had a mint to help me with every single temptation that I dealt with. Then I read this book called Indistractable. I'll put the link down below. Again, not an ad, but in the book, it talks about how to be more productive during your day and how to stay away from distractions. So one of the tips and hacks it talks about is this thing called urge surfing, where you take 10 minutes and don't act on the urge. You don't do anything at all. You don't succumb to it. You don't try and avoid it. It stays there, but you just give it 10 minutes. Because studies actually prove that if you can get to the end of 10 minutes, your desire to do that thing will be gone 90% of the time. Now, as I combine these two thoughts together, now again, these thoughts are my own, nobody else's. I'm not any clinical anything. I started to wonder, what if I combined these two and used it in my faith life and in my relationship with Jesus? What do I mean? Well, we all have a temptation to sin, and we do every single day. That's not news, but it's this whole idea of wanting to fight for sanctification. Sanctification meaning being pruned and becoming more like Jesus, but it ain't easy. Yet at the same time, I realized we have somebody that's a lot more powerful than a little mint. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, "No temptation has overtaken you except what's common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will provide a way out so that you can endure it." Okay, that was a lot. So we need to kind of break down this verse. One thing that stands out to me is that the verse does not say you will not be tempted, period. It actually says you will not be tempted beyond what you can bear, which means temptations are a coming, baby. Yet, on the other hand, it promises that God says when you are tempted, he will provide a way out. But what I think is interesting is that at the end of the verse, it says so that you can endure it. Almost like we're supposed to endure a little bit of temptation. God provides a way out, yet we still endure it. Why is that? Maybe there's something bigger at play. Temptations to sin provide us an opportunity to lean into God's power and strength to help us be redirected around it. So no, we don't have a Sweet Defeat mint for sin in our lives, but we do have Jesus, and Jesus is the most powerful weapon that we can have to help us get around it. I heard this sermon by Louis Giglio, and he talks about temptation being like a ton of doors. And in that same room is a door that provides the way out. And the door may sometimes be the smallest in the room, so much so that you might not even see it at first glance, but the door to provide a way out is always there because literally God promises it in his word to us. So if we take this urge surfing idea and kind of spin it towards what it can mean for our faith journeys, instead of urge surfing, maybe we could do some Jesus surfing. And by that, I know it's corny, I mean to say, we actually spend 10 minutes in prayer before we actually succumb to the temptation. So maybe it's the temptation to gossip. Maybe it's the temptation to, I'm just gonna say it, do physical things. Okay, we all have temptations. We don't need to pretend like it's some taboo thing. But I wonder what would happen if we actually took the time to catch it before we step into it and say, God, this is not how I want to be. I need your strength right now because I'm losing it on my own. Please help me to see that way that you are providing for me. That's a way out. Because maybe those 10 minutes of endurance teach us more about who God is than anything else. So that's my challenge to us this week. What is one thing we can do with one specific temptation to lean into God before we actually succumb to it? And the best part is it builds your character as well. And who doesn't love a little personal and spiritual growth? Did I just now realize that my shirt says just do it, which is the antithesis of my entire video about not giving in? Yes, story of my life. Last time I talked about how we actually need to be prepared to cross a bridge before we get to it. And the same goes for temptation. So if you want to check out that video from last time, click right here. Stay strong. I believe in you. God has equipped you. And also, maybe we can eat ice cream once I am able to learn self-discipline with my dessert intake. Okay, bye!